Hey everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And we watched a movie.
We watched another one.
We watched a movie on Disney Plus. That's right, today is Raya and the Last Dragon Day on Disney Plus. March 5th, 2021. It's in theaters, but it's also available on Disney Plus for a premium. Tell the nice folks how much you paid for this movie, Sean.
$35 Canadian.
$35. That is a lot for a rental.
However, it's not a rental.
There you go. It's not a rental. You heard it here.
So you pay your money and then it just stays on your Disney Plus for as long as you have Disney Plus. So presumably at some point in the future it'll come on Disney Plus for free. But until then, you get to watch it as many times as you want.
Yes, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. It's sort of like buying it / sort of like
early buying it.
Yeah,
too.
early buying it / just not having to go to the movie theater. So between those two things,
worth the price.
It's worth the price because we would have paid that a year ago to go see it in theaters.
Exactly. So Raya and the Last Dragon. What's it about? It's about a kingdom called Kumandra. And in this realm, people live very peacefully in harmony alongside dragons. And these dragons sort of take care of them, they protect them, they bring them water. It's a really nice copacetic existence.
Yeah, it is.
Until one day, a plague is unleashed. So this plague monster is called the Druun, and it's like a black-purple mist, and it is coming for you. Once it envelops somebody, it turns them to stone. So this is a pretty not cool thing.
Yeah.
And the dragons get together to put a stop to this, even though it's a very powerful force. In fact, it takes all of the dragons' power to stop it. So they actually pool all of their power and they leave it to one last dragon while the mist takes all of the others and turns them to stone. So she sacrifices herself in order to save humanity. And as she is also turned into stone, the plague is killed and she leaves behind only a gem, a dragon gem, with just a drop of their magic still in it. And that's all that's left of the dragons. So this gem is a very attractive artifact, though.
Well, it's powerful.
It's
magical.
Well, it's magical. It's not got a lot of power in it, but more magic than the humans have themselves. So whoever has it is going to closely guard it. But what this means is that basically everyone goes to war over this thing. So the realm of Kumandra basically is no more. It is split into a bunch of different factions, and they're all mad at each other. They're all enemies basically now.
Yep. They're all jealous of each other, especially jealous of the people that have the dragon gem.
Who have it, yes. So cut to 500 years later. So it has been 500 years of war and enemy state, and we meet Raya, who is a young warrior princess. So her dad is, I don't know if king is the right word,
ruler.
but
yeah,
the
leader.
ruler of one of these factions. And he has a dream of uniting them again, all of the factions, and having Kumandra come together again. That is his dream. And so he invites everyone to this feast. Wasn't a good idea because not everyone shares the same values. And so some of them are there under false pretenses and they attempt to steal the gem. And in the process, break it. And this unleashes the plague once again. So again, the Druun, the plague, sweeping over people and turning them into stone. And remember, the only thing that could stop it last time were the dragons, but we don't have dragons anymore. We just have this one drop of their power, and now it's broken into pieces. So what happens is each faction ends up taking one of the pieces, and everybody retreats as the plague continues to
It spreads.
plague the land.
Yeah, goes everywhere.
It does. So then we do another jump, smaller this time, just 3 years, I think.
6.
But, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Double what I thought, but still far fewer than 500. Yeah. Raya is a young woman now, and she is out having her journey searching for the last dragon. Now, this is a myth. She's not really assured of finding a dragon, and yet, with a lack of options, she's been willing to devote her life to this.
Yeah.
And is eventually successful.
She is.
It just so happens we catch up with her on the day she finds the dragon. It's very lucky for us that we got to miss the 6 years of unsuccessful searching.
It is, yeah.
We meet her on the day where she finally finds Sisu. So this is the last dragon, the one who ultimately sacrificed herself. And she is awoken. So Raya is voiced by Kelly Marie Tran. The dragon Sisu is voiced by Awkwafina. So she's now got a dragon, but the dragon does not have the powers. They realize that the powers are still within that gem. And that gem is broken, everybody's got the pieces. So now they're gonna have to go to all these different kingdoms and convince people who are basically their enemies, who are so suspicious that they're the ones who broke the gem trying to steal the gem. Now they're gonna have to somehow convince them to give it over. That's gonna be difficult to do, even with a plague monster threatening them.
And a dragon.
Anyways, so Raya and Sisu can take the form of a human girl too, so
well, eventually.
Yeah, we see that back and forth a little bit. So they go all over the place and they end up making some friends, but ultimately, the same little girl who betrayed her as a child, Namari, she's voiced by Gemma Chan, she's really the biggest problem in the movie. Do not trust Namari, sort of.
Don't trust anyone.
Don't trust anyone. Except for, as Sisu is going to teach us,
you have to trust everyone.
And that's tough.
You have to work together.
That's really tough, especially considering the history here.
Sure it is.
But yeah, that is why I liked the movie so much, is that, first of all, Raya is a really cool Disney princess to add to the Disney princess lineup.
Oh yeah, she is.
She is a warrior.
Oh, yeah, she's
tough.
A fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's very skilled at martial arts. Like, she could do all of those things for herself. Doesn't need anyone's help. But in this movie, it turns out that those things are not what's required. And she goes about it. She is brave. She's courageous. She does all of this adventuring. But what really is going to save the day is cooperation. Teamwork. Yes, trusting other people, and oh boy, it's really going to be diplomacy, not war. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
So, I mean, I think that's kind of a sweet message, and kind of a surprisingly timely one from Disney, in that it will take one of these people to cross partisan lines.
Yep.
Extend the olive branch, be the first person to say, we all see each other as enemies, but we have a common goal. Maybe we should work together.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should. So I thought that was like a really stirring and powerful message that I really liked getting from a movie like this, and I didn't expect from a movie like this.
Well, you're right. It is different in that way. Because usually it would be a big battle at the end where the dragons have to fight the whatever's dredged? No.
Druuns.
Druuns. Yeah, not here.
Here you have to be nice and kind.
Yeah. Or else. Or else you'll turn to stone.
Yeah.
And even if you're nice and kind, sometimes you turn to stone.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a great lesson, but it's real life.
This movie is also really beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
Really beautiful. So Kumandra, of course, is a fictional place, but it's inspired by Southeast Asian countries. And I know the animators visited many of them, actually, because when they they animated several factions or split up kingdoms.
Yeah, so each faction has a different type of environment. That's part of the deal.
Yeah, it is. They have like their own culture, their own aesthetics. So I think that's really cool. When you visit each sort of land, you get a different experience, but they all look really cool. I know they visited Thailand and Cambodia, Vietnam, the Philippines, Indonesia even. And I think there are flavors from all of that, even though no one particular culture is distinct. I think they did a good job of making this a special place, but that does have some real world sort of
Some
relatability, yes. And so it's also exciting that Raya gets to be our first Southeast Asian princess.
It is.
And she's just a cool princess, no matter who she is. She's a flawed princess. And the thing is, as you may know, you may have heard from an early video of mine, I think all of the princesses are flawed. And the more perfect Disney thinks they are, the more flawed I think they are. But in this one, Disney is deliberately writing a flawed princess. You know, she is impetuous. She does go battle first.
Yeah, well, the difference is she's not problematic.
No.
She's just a character.
She's a person.
Yeah.
And that you get that from making her not just a princess, but a protagonist. She's the hero of this story. She's not the damsel in distress waiting to be rescued. She is the hero of the story. And so we do come to know her. She isn't a passive princess like we have seen for too many times. She really does get to inspire us. And she's not perfect. She is young. But I think that makes her more complex and interesting. In terms of myself being an adult watching what is essentially a kid's movie. So, great voice cast.
Yes.
Daniel Day Kim, Sandra Oh,
Very
Benedict
strong.
Wong,
Lots of
Alan
characters.
Tudyk.
Because this is going to be a team effort, as you said. She's
That's
going to
right.
pick up a lot of people along the way.
But most of all, I have to say, I loved Kelly Marie Tran and Awkwafina. They have such a warm sort of chemistry together. They're really sweet together. And it really helps us emphasize the sort of female friendship. Because a lot of times in Disney movies, there is no other girl, right?
Yep.
She's got maybe an animal sidekick.
Yep.
And then there's
And
like
a prince.
a good prince and a bad prince, or what, you know. We don't often see two female energies on screen together, and they're friends.
It's true.
It's
different. This is not the Disney princess formula, that's for sure.
No.
And it's
It's
not
better.
really any formula. This is an original movie. Does not feel like
That's right.
anything we've seen.
And it is actually one of the rare original movies from Disney.
Yep.
Often they're adapting fairy tales, but this is actually an original, or a real original story for them.
And it's a good one.
Well, I think maybe that's some of the solution. When you're adapting fairy tales that are hundreds of years old, those probably are going to be more problematic.
Sure they are.
And you can try as much as you want to like adapt them to be a more modern story,
You
but
can, but you run into the structural problem that this at its core is a princess in distress who needs to be rescued by a man.
that's right.
And that's not here.
No, it really isn't. I mean, really, they're rescuing
everyone else. Yeah.
That's right. So, you enjoy this movie?
I did enjoy it. I thought it was very good. It is beautiful to look at. The voices are excellent, and it's a good message.
Okay. And what are the kids going to like more? Are they going to respond to the dragon, or are they going to love those three monkeys with the con baby?
How can you not like the con baby and sidekicks? I think there's a lot to like, though,
Okay.
because there's also the kid who has his own restaurant on a boat.
On a pirate ship?
Like, that's cool.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
There's a lot to like. I think you can find a lot that's going to entertain kids in this movie.
I worried at first that it was maybe a little bit slow or slower than a kid's movie usually is. But I just thought it was so interesting, and there is like a lot to observe, a lot to take in. And everything is so beautiful and visually stunning. I have to say, Disney animation suffered for a while, and I really think their last several movies, you know, Zootopia was great, the Frozen. So Disney animation is really standing on its own, even without Pixar.
Yeah, they are. Well, it is interesting how having Pixar in the fold has upped Disney's game. And even like they should have been more competitive when they were in different companies, but now they really borrow from each other, it seems, and they've learned and they're keeping up. And you can put the recent Disney movies against the Pixar movies and Disney might be winning. Like that's a very close call.
That's right. So this is not a musical. Again, somewhat rare for Disney.
Yeah, it is.
We often have them breaking out into song, and that's not the case. I mean, they're busy. In this movie, they're too busy
They
for
got
singing.
too much to do.
The world is in actual peril.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of a difference here. It's not just, oh no, the prince doesn't love me.
Right.
Really, my father turned to stone, my mother turned to stone, my whole family. There are like orphaned children who have to run restaurants on pirate ships just to... There's a con baby.
Yes.
I know that makes no sense to you. It is a baby who runs cons with the help of 3 monkeys. Now it's clear. Now it is perfectly clear. And what would you say Raya's sidekick friend is?
Yeah, he's like a giant
sort of
hedgehog. But he
with
has
like
like a
armadillo
shell. Like
shell.
an armadillo too, yeah.
Yeah, it starts out really little, like hedgehog-sized at the beginning of the movie. When we catch up with her 6 years later,
She rides
I don't
it.
know what she's feeding him, but he is now the size of a vehicle.
Yeah.
Because apparently they have these weird hedgehogs and dragons, but no horses. So,
No.
I don't know. It was, I mean, was
It's a
interesting.
pretty cool ride though.
Yes, and that has merchandising potential too. Tuck
Definitely.
tuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of fun animal sidekicks. The sort of rival or bad girl, Namari, she's got some big cats
That's right, yes.
that she likes to travel with.
They ride those. That's straight out of He-Man.
I'm sure that's exactly what she was thinking too.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
So even though they're the bad tribe, the Fang tribe, they have the cool haircuts.
They do, yes. They
Yes.
really do.
So yeah, I just thought there was really everything to like about this movie and nothing that I didn't like, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Ooh,
It's
rare for
really
me
good.
to have said that.
Yes, it is.
The lightning strike, I kind of regretted saying it. I was like, oh gosh, not wood. I do feel a little nervous having said that, but I really did like this movie, and I'm so glad we do own it because I'm gonna want to rewatch
Oh,
it.
we'll watch it again, absolutely.
I would like to see it with little Ella.
Yes.
You know, it's a new princess for her. Ella's my 5-year-old niece. She's super precious. But she's a bit of a tomboy. She's
is.
definitely not a damsel in distress.
No. She's a puncher.
And a kicker.
And a kicker.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, she's a sweetheart, but she knows her own mind and she knows how to get it.
Yep.
She's got her older brother wrapped around her little finger.
She does. She doesn't bow down to anyone.
No, she doesn't. So I'm excited to share this one with her. And I'm happy for all of us to get such a great princess in the lineup. I hope we put her front and center.
Yes, we should, absolutely.
Great. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.